Chapter 67. Simply can't stop. Don't you see that the waters of the Yellow River come from the sky, running to the sea and never returning? Don't you see the high hall mirror grieving for grey hair, as green as silk and turning into snow? Buzz. In the Wuxia Academy, nearly all the cultivators of the Book Dao had their hairs instantly explode in sweat. King Shikong also steeped his face as if it were dirt. Under the live broadcast, the 200 million people of Metropolis were all staring, but they saw that underneath that brush, a white light that was even more intense than the previous chivalrous act steeply emerged. It was a heavenly collapse of vast righteousness, universal light shining white, but it did not come off the paper. However, all of the Book Dao cultivators all tensed up, goosebumps all over their bodies. No, this is only the first sentence, and I'm getting goosebumps. Chivalry is still from the third sentence. Kill a man at 10 steps. Leave no one behind for 10,000 miles. Whisk your clothes away after the deed is done, and hide your honor and fame deep in your heart. It starts. This first line gives me this strong feeling. We'll enter the wine. What exactly did Mr. Gu write? Another open mouth, even more gorgeous than the one just now. Countless Book Dao cultivators all held their breath. Fairy Wana looked at Gu Hai in the picture, her eyes slightly misty. In the middle of the small courtyard, Sima Changkong sucked in his breath, starting with the first line. It's so majestic. Don't you see that the waters of the Yellow River come from the sky and run to the sea without return? This is that magnificent Yellow River in the south of the divine continent. Don't you see the sad white hair in the mirror in the high hall, like green silk turning into snow in the evening? Life and death are just a matter of time. Mr. Gu has just come out of the secular world to be able to see life and death so thoroughly. Good poem. Just these two lines are enough to wash the Wuxia Academy in blood. Good lines, right out of the mouth. No need to think. Long Shenwu's eyes narrowed slightly. However, he saw that in the picture, Gu Hai continued to spit out verses, and Ziwei continued to write with the Book Dao intent. When life is good, don't make the golden bottle empty to the moon. Born to be useful, 1,000 pieces of gold are scattered and come back again. Rumble. The paper under Ziwei's pen steeply emitted a roaring sound, as if there was a wind and thunderstorm under the pen. There is still no shooting starlight righteousness rushing out, but the surrounding area is slowly hazy out of a stream of white mist in general, covering the four sides of the Wuxia Academy. A good life must be happy. What a good one. Don't make the golden bottle empty to the moon. I was born to be useful. What a way to come back after 1,000 gold is scattered. Sima Changkong exclaimed with high fives. Not only Sima Changkong, but all the Book Dao cultivators in the city, who were reading something wonderful at the moment, also high-fived to vent their exuberance. That, without the meteoric rush of hoary righteousness rushing out, isn't this verse not as good as King Shikong's rice hamster? I don't know the way of the book either, but, reading it, Mr. Gu seems to be more powerful. How could it be inferior to rice hamster? What do you guys know? Didn't you hear that sound of wind and thunder? Didn't you see the white mist that filled the surroundings? It's definitely stronger than a rice hamster. Those who didn't understand the Book Dao revealed their doubts. But those who understood the Book Dao didn't explain at the moment, because everyone was attracted to this article. Different from the chivalry just now, chivalry still has tension and relaxation, letting you gradually enter the asterisk. But this piece of will enter the wine, from the first word, directly into the asterisk. Not chivalry that is set after a set of asterisk, but into the asterisk, and never came down. Around the wine banquet, white mist filled the air. These white mists were all condensed from the vast and righteous chair. Li Shenji looked at Gu Hai with a horrified expression on his face. Impossible ... How could he have written another one? A light emerged from Mo Yoika's eyes. King Shikong, however, had a face like dirt. From the first sentences of the wine, King Shikong understood that he lost, and lost so completely. Earlier chivalry is crushed against himself, and now the wine, compared with the rice hamster, is the difference between mud and clouds. One as if in the sky above, one in the bottom of the valley. But everything is not over. Gu Hai's next sentence is even more domineering. Life must be happy. Do not make the golden bottle empty to the moon, born to be useful. 1,000 gold scattered, but also come back. These 4 lines were bound to be sung throughout the ages. In contrast to their own piece of rice hamster, the same said to eaters, but the realm is not a level at all. Cooking sheep and slaughtering cows and being happy. We'll have to drink 300 cups in one go. Zifu Zi, painting Chong Sheng, will enter the wine, the cup will not stop. Sing a song with you, please pour out your ears for me. Rumble, the white mist around was growing. The entire Wuxia Academy was about to be completely enveloped in a sea of clouds. It hadn't even been written yet, and in the void of heaven and earth, there were already bursts of sounds of ghosts and gods chanting and weeping. Still not finished. This is still not finished. King Shikong's eyes had completely glazed over. Cooking sheep and slaughtering cows and being happy. This, wasn't it the previous King Shikong who had slaughtered the Wuxia Academy's precious beasts, oxen and sheep? Gu Hai had written this out. Obviously made it up on the spot. We'll have to drink 300 cups. Is this saying that Chongsheng and Ziwei are especially capable of eating and drinking? The same said to people rice bucket. Why Gu Hai wrote out so unrestrained, to rice bucket image, but so wild and uninhibited. Eating, if you still care so much, how can you drink well? Ziva Z, this is Ziwei, painting Chongsheng. Chongsheng is good at painting. We'll enter the wine, don't stop drinking. It means keep drinking, don't stop. Sing a song with you, please pour out your ears for me. Gu Hai still wants to say. King Shikong looked at the pen fall in death. The void resounded with the sound of countless ghosts and gods sobbing and chanting. The poem became weeping ghosts and gods. No, this was even stronger than that. There was no meteor like vast chair, but all around was a sea of vast chair. Gu Hai continued to recite, bells and drums are not expensive enough, but I wish to be drunk for a long time without waking up again. The sages of old were all lonely, only the drinkers shed their names. In the past, when we watched chess, we feasted on Taiyi, and we drank 10,000 bottles of wine. Why does the master say he has little money? He must sell it to you. A boat of 5 flowers, 1,000 furs of gold, and a child will come out to change the wine, with whom I will dispel all the sorrows of the ages. The sentences were spat out word by Gu Hai, and written out word by Ziwei, and the vast and righteous chair had already condensed into a sea of clouds and fog, and the roar grew louder and louder. At the end of the day, Gu Hai didn't hesitate to use the great feast of the old man of chess, watching and Taiyi in the past as an analogy for the 2 eaters. And in an instant, the image of the 2 eaters changed into a taller and taller one. At this moment, no one felt that they were rice bucket demons anymore. This was great grandeur. Without this great grandeur, it is not possible to eat to this extent. Rice hamster. At this moment, who still remembers that bullshit rice hamster? Compared to will enter the wine. I don't know how many streets have been thrown away. Rice hamster out. There is a vast and righteousness bubbling up, but today, this is a sea of clouds of vast and righteousness. Stretching endlessly, thousands of miles of vastness. Countless officials have long since opened their mouths wide. Another poem into a sob. No, it was even more ferocious than, just now, the chivalry, which began to be recited by ghosts, and gods sobbing in the middle of the verse. Why does the master speak of little money, when he must sell it to you to drink? This is ****, nakedly mocking King Shikong. Eat you some food, drink you some wine. You can't be stingy. You don't have enough money, just go and get it. 5 flower boats, 1,000 gold furs, call for a child, will come out to change the wine, and with you to eliminate all the sorrows of the ages. If you don't have money, take my boat and furs and exchange them for wine. Let me dispel this 10,000 years of sorrow with them. Boom! Amidst the sea of churning vast and righteous clouds, as Z-Way dropped the last stroke, another great light finally rushed into the sky. At this moment in the evening, the sky had already darkened, but that last paper was a steep rush of rolling white light into the sky. It was countless times greater than the previous chivalry. Buzz. Yet, it was seen that within the paper, something finally floated out. Not like the meteor from earlier, but a round of housey that instantly illuminated the heavens and earth. A round of white housey slowly floated out from the sea of clouds. The house sun was born, illuminating the earth. The Wuxia Academy, metropolis city, and even tens of thousands of miles away outside of the dynasty, were all illuminated by this vast white sun at this moment. A round of Hayoshi ascended into the sky, and above the banquet, nearly all the officials sucked in a cold breath. The 200 million people in the city, at this moment, also stared wide-eyed, looking towards the rising sun that was getting higher and higher in the sky. For a while, the 4 directions were silent, with only the voices of countless ghosts and gods sobbing and reciting will enter the wine non-stop. Don't you see that the waters of the yellow river come from the sky and run to the sea without return? Don't you see the sad grey hairs in the mirror in the high hall, like green threads in the morning, turning into snow in the evening? Life must be as happy as it can be. Don't let the golden bottle be empty against the moon. I am born to be useful, and the 1,000 pieces of gold will come back to me again. Cooking sheep and slaughtering cows is a pleasure, and we will drink 300 cups in one go. Z for Z, the painting of eternal life, will enter the wine. The cups will not stop. I'll sing a song with you. Please listen for me. I wish to be drunk for a long time and never wake up again. All the sages of the past are lonely, but only the drinkers are famous. In the past, when we watched chess, we feasted on tai, and we drank 10,000 bottles of wine. Why does the master say he has little money? He must sell it to you. A boat of 5 flowers, 1,000 furs of gold, and a child will come out to change the wine, with whom we will overcome all the sorrows of the ages. All the voices of ghosts and gods, endless sobbing recitation, accompanied by the round of the sun, looking spectacular. The title, chosen by King Shikong, describes the state of those to rice buckets eating. King Shikong wrote rice hamster, and rice, and mice, earlier still think it is good. But at this moment, compared to will enter the wine, suddenly feel too vulgar, cheesy. Someone write for Guhai. At this moment, it was a fool who did not believe King Shikong's guess. This is what Guhai wrote. To write it, it was so magnificent and brilliant. Stealing a text and stealing a poem. How ridiculous this seems. Mr. Gu still needs to steal texts and poems. If you write 2 lines, you'll be ruined in a minute. And it's a long poem, you can only write 2 lines. Look at Mr. Ku. He doesn't even bother to write 2 lines. How can he be so smug as to challenge Mr. Ku to a poetry contest? My calligraphy now is mediocre, but it's still not difficult to write 2 lines of a small poem. It's not well written. I don't know how it compares to King Shikong's rice hamster. King Shikong, would you like to correct me? Guhai's voice suddenly floated out. Pop 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 ah. Nearly everyone seemed to hear a series of slaps resounding on King Shikong's face once again. It was incomparably crunchy and refreshing. Slap 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 slap. It simply wouldn't stop.